Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Say It Loud podcast. I'm Matt Jones, the host, and today we have an intimate Say It Loud podcast. You see, when we started this, 30-something episodes ago, it was just the band, Fair City Fire. We thought it'd be fun to kind of talk through, what it's like to be in the band, making albums, rehearsals, all kind of like the minutia, the daily stuff of being in a band. And fortunately enough, other people wanted to come on when we asked them. So most of the podcasts we've done have always been with other local Austin music artists, and we've been very fortunate to have, I think, some of the best in town. But we wanted to scale back for this episode with Brian and Brett talking about, South by experiences, what the goal was for that, and also making the new album, Shake Your Bones. So there's a lot going on in the Fair City Fire world, so it's good to kind of take a break from our awesome friends. That's a bad way to say it, isn't it? Sometimes it is good to take a break from friends. But in this case, we just wanted to talk about us, have, again, just very intimate, a very real discussion about Fair City Fire. I enjoyed it. Big things are happening. Shake Your Bones, the album is coming out on April 14th. Get your tickets for the Stubbs release show. Please enjoy. Okay, let's give it a go. This is actually a very intimate, a very special Say It Loud podcast. It's like the original, just down to Brett and Brian, but just the band today.
Yeah, the nitty gritty.
It's been a while. Yeah, too many people want to come onto the podcast,
Yeah, it's too many people knocking on the door. We had to, just say no, guys. We're closed. We had to shut them down because they're out there. There's a line.
Mm-hmm. So let's do it
on the podcast.
We're old school today. It's sunny out. It's weird that it's sunny out doing a podcast. We always do them at night. Mm-hmm. But for the listener at home, it's about 5:36. I hope you're enjoying your dinner. And welcome to a new Say It Loud podcast. I'm Matt with Brett and Brian.
Hi.
Again, this is like the unplugged. Say It Loud unplugged.
Well, hot damn.
So you guys are coming hot damn off of a South by performance at the tavern. What was it called?
Burnside's
Tavern on 6th Street.
Yeah.
So South by is in full effect. It's happening. It's
going.
The movie stuff or whatever, and the tech stuff this week.
Yeah.
But there's still obviously unofficial showcases all over. You guys had a pretty good one yesterday.
That was fun, man.
Feel the energy from it?
Yeah, especially that one last night. We had a couple shows yesterday, and the one last night specifically was great. Just a lot of people came in off the street because the stage was right by the street, so it was like cool. We got to basically earn our audience in a way, that's always a good feeling. Mm-hmm. When you kind of win that, people come in. They rock with you. I don't know. That felt really cool.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good energy.
Yeah.
Our first, we played across the street from Burnside at Cheers, and it was during the day, and it was kind of up on the rooftop, so you couldn't hear it from the street. And we had a little instrument malfunction, so that we lost kind of like our normal vibe, high energy show on that one, and then got the Hoosier.
That's going to be all over.
I got to take that away.
Yeah. All right. Even his nails.
Pause.
He's just looking at you.
Yeah, so we got to redeem ourselves 2 hours later at Burnside, and like Brian was saying, it was nice. Just people off the street. Our energy was high level. Performance was good.
It was nice. I mean, it's not that often that you might have like somewhat of an off show for some reason, and then a few hours later you get a chance to redo it. Get a chance to like just get right back out there. And it's pretty cool. That was nice.
Did it feel like you had to get, I don't know, revenge or something? I don't know.
Not really. I mean,
yeah. It did.
It was like, I don't know. It didn't seem like revenge. It just felt better. It was just good to get up there and get our normal energy back that we normally have.
Yeah, that doesn't happen that often where you have a show and then one, across the street right after.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. It's like you had your the trial run, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the mark of South by,
Yeah.
know. And with that first gig, it's like things come up during shows all the time. It's like we've done this enough, especially on the road, where we're unfamiliar with, rooms and equipment and all that stuff, and something goes wrong, and it's like it's this it used to be like this kind of panicky sort of feeling, but now it's like not really. I don't know. It doesn't really affect too much beyond just like it prevents it from being a smooth show, but we were able to kind of get it back.
Yeah, we have
a set or so.
A fan and a buddy that I met at the YMCA, Joel, that has kind of been coming out a lot to our shows recently. He's been coming out to our shows for years, but he's been really coming out to a few recently, and he was there at the first show. And I talked to him after the set, and he had mentioned that he had said, oh, you guys really bounced back quickly after the gear was cutting out a little bit. In those settings too, because it's they have like 10 bands in a day, so it's like, turnover. You don't have a whole lot of time to make sure everything's working before you play. It's like you literally get up there, try to set everything up in 5 minutes, and start playing. So whereas like in a normal setting, you'd have more time to kind of get your gear ready and stuff, and do a little sound check, and you would you'd come across those earlier, and you'd be able to take care of it. But Joel said, he's man, you guys really. He's like, after that little first 5 minutes, he's like, you bounced back. It was great. It was great to watch. And then he also saw us across the street, and he was like, wow, night and day difference in performance wise.
Yeah, you couldn't be like, if the sound's not going your way, you can't be like, hey, just so you know, we're way better than this, you guys. We usually sound way better than this.
Yeah, it's
for
like,
sure. Believe me, buy our CD.
I would know.
You have no choice but to try to prove it, because you can't really say that stuff. I mean, you can ask people to chant your band name apparently, but
that happened. Yeah, the
Joe's not here to defend himself.
Was it Burnside Tavern?
Yeah.
That show was going so well, like you said. People. The stage is right on the street, sidewalk, passers-by. They can see in, and there were people stopping. You could tell because they all had their badges. There was a lot of tech people. Mm-hmm. You could tell.
Yeah.
As well, but they were stopping. They were coming in, getting stickers and all that. But yeah, you guys were on a roll. You could tell.
That was fun.
That was really fun.
When you get new people, like new people off the street, when you're not playing to the same faces,
it brings up it just brings out the. I don't want to say necessarily the best, but it sparks this little fire that sits in your belly to really want to just pump it, just like really give it the best performance you can. Especially when you see those people that you've never seen before, just kind of stop for a second.
Yeah.
And they're vibing on you. You got to go, fuck, all right. I'll lean over and fucking scream in Joe's face real loud, and Brian will give one of his fucking belts, and that usually gets it. Usually gets the crowd, at least for a little while, get the attention of somebody for a bit.
Yeah, because, that's the thing. It's hard to know what any of their situations were, but, they could have been just kind of bombing around looking for something to do, and looking for, because most of them are familiar with, obviously, like, even if they're there for tech, they're familiar with, like, music's a big deal at South by, mm-hmm. So they're looking for a band, and they chose ours to come in and check out for a while, and that means a lot,
It is nice being on the street like that, because, if you're sitting in the bar, or like we were the first show on a rooftop, you don't get those passerbys, Yeah,
you're relying on people just randomly taking a chance on that bar.
Yeah, and like to walk into a bar and they go, oh, there's an upstairs, and go, nah, I don't want to go up there, or, to venture up there,
Yeah.
You're trying to get all the parachuters.
Yeah.
Stop on the way down.
Yeah. There you go.
So that's a good method of transportation, I think. Yeah.
For South by.
Yeah, parking's kind of tough down there. Might as well grab yourself a parachute.
Yeah. So you had talked about you guys were like really kind of rolling, like good crowd interaction, like people were whistling, clapping, having a good time.
Yeah.
And Joe, who's not here, but took it upon himself to start trying the Fair City Fire chant.
He doesn't have a mic by the drum set either, so he had to come up to the front of the stage to do this. Like, he had something come over him,
He was fired up, man.
I have to do this.
It was a good show. Like, I gave him shit. I apologized to him after the show. He didn't even care. I just wanted to make sure he knew I wasn't being like a dick. I was just kind of fooling around. But yeah, I mean, it was just funny. He came flying out behind the drum set and was
Everybody say fair.
he fired up, man. You could see it, man, in his eyes. He was pumped.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, you got to give him credit because, like, if you're going to do something like that, you can't be, like, bashful at all about it.
Yeah,
And he definitely wasn't.
You gotta
like,
own it.
He committed.
there was no holding back at all. It was like, I'm going to do this, and you're going to know exactly what I'm saying and what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I
don't
remember
think I
being
could do
at
that.
I remember being at a show, kind of what you're saying, like not be bashful about it. And I'm not going to name the band because they're probably better at this point or have it worked out. But we were watching the show, and then one of the guys, I think it was the drummer, somebody comes down off the stage and starts walking in the crowd. But it's like, hey, what was he saying? Like, clap your hands?
Yeah, he was trying. I think he was trying to get everyone to clap their hands, but then he would
I
like.
remember it well.
Yeah, it was almost to the point where he would grab their hands and start clapping it for him. You know.
Yeah, it's like, what do we like? Almost nobody got in on it. Like, says he wasn't excitedly doing it. He was like, almost like, hey, just like stand in front of you. Can you?
It was like his
clap your hands.
first theater performance
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, trying to be like interactive with the crowd. That was fucking
Yeah, you got to
funny.
appreciate. I appreciate it, but yeah, it's all about execution.
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
It
it takes. Yeah, it does. It takes some guts to do some of those things.
Have you guys ever said anything on stage that you kind of bailed halfway through, or like?
I'm sure. I don't
Definitely,
remember.
yeah.
I'm sure.
You
Yeah.
remember any moments that occur?
Maybe it'll hit me. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like I definitely just kind of let things fly on stage a lot, and sometimes it gets weird, and I'm like, should I have said that? Or like, is that too strange? Is that like too niche of a market that would maybe understand that joke?
One that pops to mind was when Derek was in the band. We were playing at Lambert's.
Oh my God! this
And
is
he
great.
just, I don't really necessarily remember the context of why he said it, but
I remember.
he just goes, he was introducing the band.
doing the-
yeah,
doing the
he was
intros.
introducing the band. So he introduced everyone, and he gets to Brian, and he's like, "This man fucks like a gorilla." It's just like
Yeah.
dude just lost it. He
he
just went off the rails there.
maniac. Yeah, that was fun.
And I mean, how am I supposed to, like? Of course, I'm just like,
yeah, what do you do in that situation?
yeah, the energy
Oh
was
no,
so nuts. It's
no,
like, no, I don't.
ladies,
Actually,
I'm very
ladies,
gentle.
yeah, only if you want me to.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was good.
Yeah, just on your fists. Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think that's what that
remember
means.
Blind Pig. I told some girl to fuck off. She asked for like I forget what song. I felt bad afterwards, but people.
she was requesting a,
she was
a cover
requesting
song.
like a stupid
like,
cover
do
song.
you know,
like
blah, blah,
Freebird
blah?
or-
Yeah.
I don't know. something
Like
along
she
those
was
lines.
being very. She was definitely like that typical like drunk college girl, but she was being real sincere about like asking for whatever cover she wanted. Like she definitely wanted it, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, "Do you guys know blah blah blah?" Brett just stone cold. I've never seen this before. Just
We were ripping that night, and we're dealing with 6th Street. It's not something we like to do,
Were you doing-
especially.
was it a cover gig?
It was a cover gig. Well, it was like a
Okay.
3-hour. We play
Oh,
our
so
original
everything,
stuff.
yeah.
We
it
do
was South
all,
by
but-
last year.
Oh, yeah, it was South by.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she asked for like this terrible song.
Do you remember what it was?
I
Or
can't
no?
remember what it was. I'm like Wagon Wheel or I don't know,
It
something
was something,
Some
maybe
sing-along.
Journey, one of those, like
Some-
just
something along the lines where you just like no, you know. And
It's
I was
like-
just like,
those cover band hell songs, you know.
fuck you. Yeah, or something like that. It was definitely like either fuck that or fuck you or fuck no or something like that. It was
The word "fuck" was involved.
it was to
Yeah.
a point where it came out and I was like, I'm sorry.
That was cold.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, that didn't mean to come out directed like at you. I just don't want to play the song.
We lost that fan for sure.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. She's not coming back.
No.
What do you get out of? I mean, is the idea for South by to get new fans? Is that what? I mean, obviously you have the album coming out, which we'll talk about, but when you're at these shows, I mean, it is to try to get people to stay in contact, whether it's give their email or grab a
definitely.
CD or a sticker. I mean, it's
That's
You know, the-
definitely a motivation, but like part of it too is just like it's really fun to be a part of that energy. You know, it's like I was thinking about that. You know, it's like of course playing on 6th Street any weekend or something. We don't do that much, but if you do that, like there's going to be a lot of tourists from all over the place. But like now you have people that are like really looking for music and they want to go like party to music, and you've got all those people in town. So I think that makes it worth it. That type of like idea that there's strangers looking for you, and then you get to be, you know,
It's a sexy idea, huh? Strangers looking for you,
It's a
bro.
sexy idea. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. Just try to turn a few heads, and there's always that hope that somebody, because there's, you know, in South by, there's so many people there that could potentially change your music career, you know.
That guy last night's gonna change our career in Phoenix.
Oh, the Phoenix guy?
Specifically, yeah.
If we ever
What's
go to
that?
Phoenix, we're selling out any
What's
bar
that?
we go to.
This
They were-
guy
yeah,
just
I
came
mean,
up, you know. It's like just saying like, hey,
He,
like, you guys are great. And
yeah,
he
he
was
was
very
good, dude.
complimentary,
Very-
you know,
very
which
nice
was
guy.
nice. Which would have been, you know, like you were saying, Brett, like would have been great if he just stopped there, like, oh, thanks, man, you know, that's it. And then he just kept going about how like he's like,
he told me, he goes, man, you guys are going places, man. I would know. I know the difference. You know, and I was just like, and I played it, you know, I you know, the guy, like Brian was saying, he was a nice dude. He didn't mean anything by it, you know. It was just like, you hear a lot of that stuff from people like try to validate their opinion of you.
Yeah.
So they just try to either name drop. I remember one time, never changing subjects, but we were playing World of Beer.
yeah,
You know where I'm going with this? So World of Beer, it's no longer open. But anyways, Brian and I were doing a duo, and some guy on our break came up to us and said something like, your mom must have slept with the milkman or something like that.
he did say
Because
that.
Brian has this super soulful voice. You know, if you were to close your ears, you would think it's this powerful black man or something. You know?
I believe he said somebody better check the milkman.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But then he immediately which was hilarious. But he immediately starts saying he used to hang out with John, Paul McCartney and you know, just starts
He just
name
wanted
dropping.
to tell you his stories.
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. He didn't care. He was just name dropping galore. It was just like, all right, guy, we see what you're doing.
But you know, that's the name of the game at South by, right? You got to try to make people think you're important.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing. Like it's such a
that's why they wear their
annoying
badges
factor. Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
out. You know, they doesn't matter if they're eating at Taco Bell, they have their badge on, so everyone can see it.
That's a part of it that I'm dealing with. Not a part that I enjoy. Is like the whole like, I'm important. No, I'm important. Like attitude behind it. It's so weird. Such a weird. But I mean, I guess that's kind of life. I don't know. But South by is just more
the
so
way it
that.
is, yeah. Everything's amped up at South by. Like, I was thinking, like, South by is great because in Austin you can do all the things you normally do except for more money. It costs more. You know, everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
You're at
like-
Craft Pride. He
Yeah.
was just talking about it. He was at Craft Pride yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, they stick with the plan. They have local bands throughout South by. They don't sell out their place to anybody. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Shout
But
out to them.
And then they charge $8 beers, and normally it's
Yeah.
$5 or something like that.
So
you know?
that's where they get you.
Yeah. So I
But-
mean, it's no discredit to them. It's just that's what bars do. Like,
I always thought for South by they should have. I lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and I learned finally, like the local thing is you say Kamayana price. So like, oh, that's Kamayana. That means you're a local, so you get a better price on everything if you know that word. And they should do that, I think, for South by too. Like charge all the visitors
just check your ID.
$6 Lone Stars. But yeah, if you have your ID and
If
it's
you're an
Austin,
Austin
you get
local,
the regular price.
Use the regular price.
Be great.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be great.
But that's not how it works.
Sometimes it works like that if you play at a place a lot and the bartender knows you.
Mm-hmm.
You go in. Sometimes they'll hook you up in some way, even during South by. Because I mean that used to happen when I used to rock 6th Street a lot. I got to know a lot of
I
the
remember
bartenders.
last year was Chugging Monkey
Yeah, Brock.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Yeah,
he still
he-
works there.
hooked us all up for happy hour, normal happy hour prices.
But
during South by.
there's no secret word, unfortunately.
He just
I
knew
don't
you
think-
from rocking 6th Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he hooked the band up. That was nice.
Long ass time playing on 6th Street. Definitely paid off for a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
These tickets are good for Lone Stars and well drinks. Oh, you're playing a 4-hour set? You only get 2.
One every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Brock. I was thinking yesterday when these people are coming in to see you guys play, most of them probably don't see live music, and you guys, without tooting your own horns kind of thing, but you play well. You practice, your songs are tight.
Yeah, been
You know,
together
you're
for 3 years.
you're a good rock band.
Yeah, we're pretty serious about what we do.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
and most people probably aren't used to that. Do you think that's part of it for South by, is people coming in to see an actual music show of a local band, and they're like, whoa, this is weird how good like a band at a bar is?
I would say so.
In that way, it kind of feels like we're on tour in our own town, you know, because you get these people that, because that's my favorite part about touring, is going to like places that aren't like way oversaturated like Austin is with music, and like, you know, going to places where they don't have such high expectations, you know. You can go in and like be in that environment and just, you know, thrive because of that. People don't expect it, you know, because here people kind of expect to be impressed with the band, and if they're not, they just kind of, you know, it is what it is. But you know, Austin's a great place, but it does feel like, we're on tour right now for the rest of the week.
I mean, I feel like I've gotten that way to some extent, being in Austin as long as I have, and then also joining a band too and becoming as serious as we have. Like I feel like I walk into a room and I have high expectations of whoever's playing. I may not judge them harshly, but I feel like that ear now is more developed. My ear is more developed to hear and be like, or like, wow, yeah, did you hear those harmonies? Or, you know, really pick out some, you know, if people work hard.
You love harmonies, bro.
I do.
That's
love
the first thing you hear.
Yeah. I love like Canvas people. Big shout out to those guys.
Oh yeah, they're masters of that.
Yeah.
I think they're playing tonight.
Geraldine's.
Should go to that. Well, one guy came up to me once at the show, and he's like, "Hey, do you know the band?" That was weird because I wasn't doing anything. I guess I was just staring at you guys too much.
You have a look. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I was guarding the ATM, sort of. I don't know why. I was just standing next to an ATM. So can I use that? I was like, yeah, go ahead. Make it quick.
Yeah. I'm watching you, though.
What's your pin?
Got my eye on you, big guy.
Yeah.
What's the local password?
But the local password is $3 in my hand. But he asked, he said, "Are these all originals?" And I was like, "Yeah, they are." Like, he's like, "Wow, this is really good." I was like, "Cool." And I think that's probably part of it too. Like, I mean, I know you guys do cover stuff too to pay the bills, and that's what people want at certain bars. But I also think a lot of people don't hear like original live music a lot, or they haven't since maybe high school battle of the bands in a gymnasium with some hardcore band, you know.
Yeah, or unless they're
Screamo band
paying $60 to go see whoever it is. Yeah.
It's hard for a lot of people, I think, to believe that there's like bands out there that aren't like household names that can write music that's like at least passable, you know. It's like they think, oh, you guys are a garage band, I can't possibly bear to listen to your, you know, like it's an attitude, but you know, you hope to go out there and change people's minds about that, you know.
I feel like we're good at that. That's something we're pretty good at least one person. We may not win the room over totally like last night. We, you know, that's such a cool feeling when you can win over an entire room like that.
That was great.
Bring people in, and then when you're done, it just empties out, and no one else is in there except for us loading up. You know, that's pretty cool feeling. So
it's cool to like look strangers in the face while I'm playing and just go yell or go crazy, and they're just doing the same thing. It's like, it was cool, and you know, with everyone like right up in your face too, it was like a cool feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hold those screams out longer, you know. They can tell.
Yeah.
You run out of breath.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah. And solos get a little shreddier and everything.
Definitely.
You know,
it's a better show, I think.
And how many more shows do you have for South by?
4 more, something like that.
Yeah, one tonight.
Got tonight. Yeah.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
And it was a good time. I thought it was funny too, because I think, Brian, you saw like all the people that were there, and it was like kind of pumping. You're like, "Got a new album coming out, you know, shake your bones." You were making sure to get out all the plugs. All people were there.
You know, we kind of talked about that too. It's like, people might not stay for more than a few songs because there's just so much going on. You can't blame them for moving on, you know, but it's like, got to get that out there. You got to let people know what's up. Yeah.
Say your name as much as possible. And, you know, normally we charge for CDs and stuff, but during South by, we kind of just, if you want one, take it. Just take it, you know, especially like during the show. I don't know. There was a time where a guy went up to get a CD, and I don't remember who. Maybe I think it was Ben, the drummer, was like, "Oh, you gotta do something or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, no, I don't want to do that or whatever." And I looked at him while I was playing. I was like, take the fucking CD. You know, I was like, and he went back and
You're
he took
not
it.
leaving this room without one of those goddamn CDs.
So, because at that point, it's just, because you don't know where these people are from. They could be all over the world or like, in the Northeast, and we tour a lot. So it's, if you can get get some kind of, whether it's a sticker or a business card or a CD, if you can get it in their hands enough for them to remember or maybe go and like your page, you might get a fan when you go on tour somewhere to come out.
I definitely had somebody come up to me and say, like, I'm going to see you guys at the Emporium Chicago last night.
Nice.
It
That's
was
awesome.
really, like, he obviously looked up the tour.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, you're coming to my town,
Yeah.
So, like, that was really cool. I mean, who knows if we'll actually see him, but, like, it was just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, the fact that he went
working. Yeah.
checked it out, it means he probably liked the page, and there you go. And it'll pop up in his feed, and maybe he'll see. There's another guy that when we played Johnny, the dude came up and was like, hey, the last song you played, he's like, what was the name of that track? And I was like, Johnny, and he was on Spotify right when I was talking to him, and he was like, he's like, I'm going to look it up right now, and he looked it up, and he goes, that one? I was like, yeah, that's us, and he pulled up, he's like, oh, that's the first track. He's like, boom. Following you guys, and he walked away.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, it was cool. That one song, maybe he just popped in for that. Who knows? Maybe he was there. I don't know if he was there the whole set or not.
And Phoenix, man. We're going to kill it in Phoenix
We're
now.
gonna crush in Phoenix. Yeah. My girl's from Phoenix, and she knows this guy. She knows everyone in the entire state of Phoenix. Yeah, her parents will be there for sure. They like me.
Well, there's no plans for Phoenix yet, but the tour starts next month. The album comes out next month, Shake Your Bones. I guess it's now just in the mixing phase, right? I mean, it's coming down to it, but it's got to be pretty close to done, right?
Yeah, it's getting real close. We're supposedly getting all the mixes back tonight. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
Ben called me and told me that. He's going to send all the tracks tonight. We're going to be able to...
Benjamin Allen Levy, producer extraordinaire.
Yeah, he's been great. Definitely incredible. We're getting some really, really cool sounds this time around, and we're pretty happy with the way it's going. I think you always want to see yourself and your projects get better, and I think that I feel that way about this. I feel like it's another step up for us. So.
Yeah, it's just more, like it's more. We've talked about it before. We've wrote all the songs together on this album. In the previous albums, there's songs that either Derek or Brian wrote a long time ago, and we kind of revamped them, so they became ours. But this one is totally like everything was just it was in-house, which was great, and I feel like gives it its it really gives it that Fair City Fire feel. And then on top of that, we're just better musicians. Obviously we've been together 3.5 years, so you're going to get better each year. So on top of that, and then just the drive I feel like that we've had in the last year, has been it's been good. It's been good for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm fucking pumped for it. Like, we put a lot of work into this album, and did it all ourselves, with the help of Benjamin Allen Levy, helping produce and record us and stuff, But we've done everything else, and it's been fucking awesome. It's gonna feel good to hit the road and kind of leave all that work behind us and focus on just playing.
That's gonna be the really fun part, and just hearing people's reactions to the new songs and stuff. Like, I really feel pretty optimistic about, just how it's gonna hit people. I think it's gonna be a little different this time around, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Low expectations, It's
I was gonna say, we've already established you guys love to hop over the low bar.
Dr. Wade Phillipson.
Yeah, I need to get back to that because I'm getting too happy, too excited. I need to climb on back to the.
At the very least, at the very least, and I feel like I've mentioned this before, but if we were to stop playing music after this year, like, we have a cool catalog to look back on.
Yeah.
And a lot of cool stories, and I hope it's not, but you never know what's going to happen. And
that sounds so ominous.
Yeah.
It sounds like something's about to happen.
No, I just mean low expectations. That's what I'm setting. But
rolling in.
at the very least, I'll be really happy that I was a part of something cool like this. And,
Definitely.
And if something happens out of that, low expectations. I'll be happy. It'll be great.
It's funny. I always look up, because whenever they have these lists of like, the hottest bands or like who you need to be listening to or you need to go check out, it's like always like these young, hot, sexy people that are being sexy in pictures and
yeah, we're not
playing
that.
sexy music, But then once in a while, they'll have a picture of like just some old guys, older, like my age, and it's like, oh yeah. Maybe they can make it,
Yeah.
Can we be one of those old guy pictures?
You're the old guy band. Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing is, I feel like we still connect with all ages. I don't.
Yeah.
That's what I like about our music. That's not very, some of that stuff you were talking about is very generational or like age appropriate to certain people, and I feel like our music kind of can hit all demographics and ages, and really kind of if you just like music, man,
How
I feel
about
like we can
could you be a
that.
Disney Channel band?
I
Mickey
bet
Mouse
you.
Club?
I bet you there's a song in the catalog that could work for Disney.
What song most
Strong?
works for Strong?
Strong would probably be
Strong would work great.
work
yeah.
for Disney.
Yeah, like maybe,
Like the beginning of Up when it's all depressing and.
Well, it's got to be the end of it.
No, remember it's the beginning. You ever seen Up?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's
but I mean-
so depressing.
Oh,
in the
you want your
beginning.
song with the depressing part?
Well, no, I'm just saying, because it's like
I was
life
thinking
is
something like a
always
Triumph,
fair. Yeah, I guess that's true too. Yeah.
You could do. Which song would you pick for the Magic Carpet Ride? If Aladdin and Jasmine had to sing
Midnight
co-op a
Kiss.
song, Midnight Kiss.
Yeah, Midnight Kiss. That's a great call.
Yeah, I would say
It's a
Midnight
perfect
Kiss.
song.
It'd be more of a Lion King song though. Yeah.
Ooh, which? So which
It would be where him and I forget Simba's love interest in that, like when he becomes.
Nala?
Was it Nala? It was Nala. Yeah. Where they
Nala was a
finally
babe.
like reconnect after he's hanging out with Timon and Pumbaa, and and they reconnect. That's when Midnight Kiss would come in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should.
I'm your lion, baby.
Ooh, yeah, that's
yeah.
good. Lying in the weeds.
Looking at you.
Let's pick a Disney movie for the song "Shake Your Bones." Since they were talking about the album,
What was that new one that came out? That was
maybe
like,
the Jungle Book dancing scene or something like that.
There's a new movie came out that was like The Day of the Dead, but it
Oh, Coco.
Coco.
Okay.
Shake Your Bones,
Yeah,
right?
you could replace that song that won the Oscar.
I don't know. What the song
I don't
is,
either.
but yeah.
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 People love it or they hate it. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah,
Shake
I
Your
mean,
Bones,
and
yeah.
that because they're all like skeletons in that
So
movie.
if they
right?
swap that
Shake
song
Your
out, does
Bones.
that mean that we win an Oscar? Is that
Yes.
Yeah,
how that works?
I think you just did.
Okay.
I think you claimed an Oscar prize.
I just want to thank my parents and
I'd like to tell everyone in the audience to suck my white ass.
See?
You never thought I could do it.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, I love you.
Bradley Cooper, you never believed in me.
Yeah.
And so, when you think of the tracks on this album, are there some that are your favorites, like you really can't wait for people to hear, or do you think of it just as one album and you just want it all out there?
I kind of think of it as a whole, like, because there's such a cool ebb and flow to this album, and so for me, there's, I don't know, man. I really like all the songs. I can't really say.
I think like for me, they're all like good for a different reason.
Yeah.
So it's hard to choose because like it might depend on like what you're dealing with that day or whatever, or
It's
what
gonna
you're
be
into.
it's gonna be
There's a lot of different sounds.
a whole album. It's gonna be a complete album from start to finish. It's gonna be a journey. It's gonna feel like when I used to get excited about buying CDs and just not skip songs and just put it and listen from start to finish.
Keeping the album alive.
Trying, man.
It's a big deal. It is, it's a decision now
Yeah.
It is.
to do that.
Not
Obviously. I
just
mean,
singles.
monetary, it costs money to make an album, but
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
it's the concept is still something that you guys appreciate, and I mean I do too. And I wonder if there's like a swing back now of coming back to the album in a way. I mean, for me and for you guys, I know it was a lot of the physical stuff, like opening up an album, seeing pictures or liner notes, and that was the cool part. But now, I wonder if there's a swing back to hearing full albums, even on Spotify. I do it, but I'm
I mean,
old,
I do too.
So, but
yeah, I listen to full albums as well.
But it's still important for you guys to have different sounds in one spot.
It's like, there's following trends, which I think, to some extent is somewhat important, but at the same time, you got to do stuff that like makes you happy as an artist. And I think, if we all like albums, we should put out an album. That's the thing. It's like, it might not even be the smartest choice out there, but it's like kind of a no-brainer for us. It's like, that's what we like. So
yeah.
Why would we not do that? Because at the end of the day, it's all about putting out stuff that you want to put out, and then you hope people like it. I mean, that's probably the best way you could go about it.
Yeah, there's no one knocking the door for us to sell out.
Yeah.
So we might as well do what we want to do.
But if you do knock on the door,
yeah. Well, and also I feel like you get to know the band if you listen to full albums.
Right. Different styles, songs, sounds, feels.
From each year, from that, like, think of, like Metallica, for example. If you followed their catalog, which I know you do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very familiar with it, but I've heard that it's changed, and then it feels like it's their last album was kind of going back to the roots a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to follow that journey, and it's kind of neat. For me, a lot of the artists that I like, their earlier albums, and then you follow how they become better bands, and then, you get to see them kind of develop into either a really polished studio band or a live band, or, and you kind of go on this journey with them. You get to know who they are a little bit. That's part of another reason I like full albums.
So on this album, who are you guys? Who are you?
Well, Nigel.
I mean, I've heard the songs. I think I pretty much heard them all just hearing them live.
Yeah.
But there is a different shift in the style for sure. I mean, I think the first album and the EP are definitely more rock driven. And not that this one's poppy, but I think it has some serious contenders for
it's like
hook of the
90s
year
pop or something.
chorus of the year,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot more hooks involved with this, that kind of makes sense, because I think about, especially the kind of music I listen to, and what I really enjoy is like it's pretty hook driven. Like, it's stuff that you can sing along to and remember certain parts. So it's like kind of makes sense. That's like the direction that we'd go.
It is kind of, in a way. I mean, I have this 90s playlist on my Spotify now, but it has these rock bands that are, Jim Blossom's, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Better Than Ezra, but they all have these, kind of gritty guitar sounds, distortion, but then all with like great choruses and, breakdowns and all these kinds of things. And those songs live on. It's incredible. Like, if you do these at karaoke, like if you sing Hey Jealousy at karaoke, which I've done before, I think.
Yeah.
Like, people know it. Even if they don't know the words, they know, like, the beats to it.
Yeah,
and
little
everything.
sections of the songs.
Yeah. And that's what I from this, even hearing them live, that's the feel I get for a lot of these songs. So I'm really psyched to hear the final product.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to get it out there. I mean, it's gonna be great. I mean, I think the message of the album is kind of a little more coherent too, I think I would say.
Yeah.
Is that a concept album? Is that what
a little bit?
I think unintentionally too. I think it just kind of happened. Like,
yeah, we didn't like write it as like a rock opera or something.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
wasn't
like a story from start to finish or anything. But it's
what we really want to do here is this. But it was just kind of like each song kind of had a theme, and then we realized it, I think, halfway through writing some of these songs. We're like, huh.
Yeah. And, like, we were trying to think of a title, and, obviously song titles are always a candidate, when you're looking at it. And, we went with Shake Your Bones. And really that song is about kind of escapism. It's kind of about being, like, stressed out in a world with a lot of stressors, and it's kind of about all the things that could affect you in that way. And the chorus, basically, the hook is just like fuck all that. Let's just rock out, And I think that's kind of what this album is like trying to do, is be an escape, because we all need that sometimes.
See, that's Cinderella then, right?
Yeah.
Being the maid, like having to clean, and one day
Yeah, there's a lot
being
of
able
that.
to,
There's
put
a
on
lot of
the
the
put on
grind.
the slippers, the glass slippers, and be a princess for a night.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of that, like talk of just
absolutely, Matt. That's good. That's a good. Yeah,
like being exactly that, being a maid, like grinding it out from day to day, and like wondering why the fuck are we still trying to do this, and it shows through some of the songs, and you hope there's some success with that, and and then also at the same time, like just like Brian was saying, just some kind of escape from whatever you're going through, or whatever that person's going through at that time, and just enjoy it. And because there's some sad songs in there too, which are good. I love sad songs. I love shit like that. It's just super emotional, makes you feel stuff, and I love the happy rocking songs too, because there's a time and place for that as well. I feel like there's a good mix of those in this album, little up and downs.
yeah, and I think you hit that on the head too. There's a lot of songs that have that, a good amount of songs that have that theme of, not really understanding what our path is, and I think that's a pretty universal thing for most people. I think most people are just trying to figure it out.
No one knows what the fuck they're doing.
And I think that's kind of been, that's especially true in the music industry. It's like trying to figure out what the next move is and who we are, and all that stuff. It's those are pretty deep questions, but it's like also, can be a little weird when you're not sure of the answers. And I think this album kind of explores that idea.
Yeah. And like you were saying, it's very common with people just in general. I mean, Matt, for you example, it's like, you were running a liquor store for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you got an itch to just like, all right, it's time to move on. I need to do something different. I don't know what, but I'll figure that out,
I'm very itchy.
Yeah. Well, I know you are.
So how are you going to scratch that itch?
I'm gonna shake my bone.
That's good.
Yeah, bones. Yeah.
That's good.
Do you guys ever? Can you remember the last time you listened to a song to make you feel a certain a way? To like regulate your affect or something. I mean, when was the last time you intentionally listened to a song to either feel better, to get motivated, to go through some kind of feeling?
Fairly recently, within like the last couple weeks. Sarah and I were watching the Avett Brothers documentary that they just released, and it touched, it was like a emotional documentary, and then you got to understand their music a little bit more. And so I go back and listen to a couple songs that like before I really liked, but after seeing and kind of understanding why they wrote some of those songs, go back and listen with different ears and really liked it even more. Like some of it's very emotional, and you get to feel the feels, and so fairly recently for me.
Yeah, there's definitely. I was thinking about my brother a lot a couple weeks ago. We kind of got into that with Johnny a little bit when he was on the show. But yeah, for those listeners who don't know, my brother passed away, and there was this song that, like, I kind of gravitated towards. I don't know how I found it in that time, but I heard it, and it was just like seemed to be like exactly about what I was dealing with and my feelings and all that stuff. It's called "What Sarah Said" by Death Cab for Cutie, and man, it's like, yeah, it's one of those things I listen to if I'm already feeling that and I just want to feel it all the way,
Okay, yeah. So it helps you get to that space, kind of like you're not trying to like use a song to get away from it, but you're really trying to just absorb it all,
dive into it. Yeah, because it brings me right back there, like all the way. And I think that's kind of healthy sometimes. I'd rather do that than just forget about it all.
Bottle
I think,
it in.
yeah. So, that's a perfect example of what you're talking about. But yeah.
Yeah. I do that a lot too. Just I try to be. I feel like most of the time I'm a pretty happy guy, and sometimes when I'm by my like lonesome and want to feel some feels and stuff. Yeah, I dive into some old, like, not, I guess they're not old, but Lumineer songs that talk about his dad dying and stuff like that. And you just, like Brian was saying, no, just feel it, It's good to feel it, like he was talking about, just sometimes you got to let that shit go in order to feel better instead of avoiding it and trying to bottle it down and be happy all the time. Yeah.
Want to do a game name?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
TM.
That's why I'm here.
In the spirit of South by Southwest, or SXSW, as it's hashtagged. Let's do... I'm going to give you... So all these bands I'm going to name to you have 4 words in their name, and I'm going to give you the acronym. So like SXSW is South by Southwest. So I'll give you the acronym of 4-word bands. This is probably going to be the toughest one yet. So I'll give you the acronym first, and then I'll name some songs too, just to give you another hint. And then if after that, if you're still struggling, I'll just start naming words from the name. Actually, so I'll just go through. You just shout it out if you know it.
Okay.
It's a 2-man game. It's a 2-man game, everybody.
2-man game.
Yeah. RATM.
Rage Against the Machine.
Ooh, right away,
nice.
Brian.
Yeah.
Bam.
That's the one you were thinking about probably already. How about TSTM? Songs include The Kill.
30 Seconds to Mars.
That is correct.
Wow. Yeah. That's
Boom.
good.
Jared Leto. How about AATW? It's a country band. Austin-based now. From West Virginia. You see them around town fairly often. Actually, they might even have posters that rattle in, or some signage there.
Oh, God, what are they called?
Asleep at the Wheel.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Ray Benson. I know that guy's name, but I can't think of the band name. Great.
RB, yeah.
Little RB.
EODM.
Eagles of Death Metal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow. Yeah,
You're
Brian's
weirdly
on it,
good
man.
at this game.
Yeah.
I was the court stenographer. Here, this one's for Brett. ATCQ. Can I kick it? Check the rhyme.
Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is technically a word. Yeah. SOAD.
System of a Down.
Wow. Boom.
Oh my God. Brian's got the home game.
I thought you said this was going to be hard, Matt.
Yeah.
I've already looked over all these clearly.
Yeah.
How about TMBG? Songs include Particle Man, Istanbul, Constantinople, Istanbul. Particle Man.
I don't know if I'm gonna get this.
I have no idea.
They might be giants.
Oh man, life is unfair. They did that one right.
Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still banking off of that, too.
Yeah?
Reruns.
How about SNTR? Just gonna give you the songs. 90s band. Kiss Me. There She Goes.
Oh, God.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Sixpence None the Richer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So kiss me. That's funny.
OMAM. A modern band. Songs include Little Talks, Dirty Paws, King and Lionheart.
Oh. Of Mountains and Men.
Of Monsters and Men.
Monsters in there.
God. Can't keep all those names straight.
RHCP.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah.
Yeah, got one.
Finally. Fuck.
Yeah, let's do one more. One more. Let's do one more. Do we even have one more? Oh, here we go. AFOS. And I ran.
A flock of seagulls.
Jeez. Brian, you crushed that game.
I don't like
that was
seagulls.
really good.
I don't like flocks of seagulls. I don't like one seagull.
I like
Not a
to
Seagull
imagine
fan.
a world where all the bands Brian likes are in acronym form on his notebook. You know?
Yes. Yes.
EFOF. So, thank you for joining us for this intimate Say It Loud podcast.
Yes.
Very intimate.
Thank you.
And I think we'll have to have Benjamin L. Levy on the podcast again and do like a full album thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get in the books.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's tell the intern to go ahead and mark that down.
Hoosier, mark that down.
Yeah.
You got that, bud? Here, and clean up my room, too. Thank you.
But yeah, South by this week. Album coming out April 14th is the Stubbs release show.
Yeah,
Mhm.
baby.
Here in Austin, yeah.
Do you have any
We have the
other
night
bands
before.
lined up for that yet? Are you still
do.
looking?
Yeah,
No,
it's
we
going to
do.
be Torino Black. I'd like to get them on the show, too.
Excellent.
At some point. They're an excellent local band. Powerhouse, female vocals, rock and roll thing going on. It's gonna be cool. I've never seen them live. I've only seen like clips online, heard their recordings and stuff. But I mean, they're great. They're doing really well. It seems like. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Excellent.
We're pumped about that.
And yeah, that'll be all the places you get albums. But just go to the show. You can buy your tickets now, right? Just
Yeah.
go into the Facebook
You should buy 'em
page,
now.
the event. Get them now. They're gonna sell out.
It'll feel good if you buy
Yeah.
them now.
Yeah.
We will.
It's kind of like a little savings plan. If you buy it now, you'll forget that you spent that money, and in a month you'll get to go to a free show. Basically,
That's a
Boom.
great.
if you think about it
point.
that way, you know.
It's a great point.
Matt, you're so smart.
There we go. All right, and the podcast now. If you're not listening on the iTunes, you can download it or whatever. Get it on the iTunes. Say It Loud, or the website, obviously, and keep up on Facebook.
Thanks,
Be safe out there at
Spotify.
South by. everybody.
Safe. Have an
You be safe now.
SXSW week.
Bye.